Hey there everyone, this is Prometheus MFD here. Welcome to my Pokemon LeafGreen version Nuzlocke playthrough. For those of you who don't know, a Nuzlocke playthrough is a playthrough of Pokemon that follows a very specific set of rules. First rule, you must nickname any Pokemon that you capture or receive. This allows you to become more attached to them as opposed to normal gameplay where they just become an ends to the means. The next rule is you can only capture the first Pokemon you encounter in any area. Some people, like myself, which I will be doing in this playthrough, add a corollary where if the first Pokemon you meet in an area is one you've already captured, you can skip that one and capture the next Pokemon. So I will be using that kind of alteration in my playthrough. And the third, and which is probably the most important rule, is that if a Pokemon faints, you can no longer use it. It is considered dead. This, adds tension to how you play, and it adds kind of it kind of adds consequence to not being able to play well. It makes the game a lot harder. In addition to that, I'm going to be adding a couple rules myself, just based on how I normally play the game. The first rule is that I cannot grind wild Pokemon until I've defeated all the trainers up into the next town. Additionally, I cannot. Once I'm allowed to grind, I cannot grind past the next multiple of 10 for each Pokemon. So if by the time I've defeated all the trainers and make it to the gym, my Pokemon are at level 12, then I can get them to level 20. But if they were at like level 21 by the time I make it to the gym after defeating all the trainers, then I would be able to get them to level 30. So, I'm naming... no numbers? Okay, sorry. I've never actually played the remakes of the Gen 1 games. I played the first games to death when I was 6, but by the time Ruby and Sapphire came out, I kind of forced myself to lose interest. Otherwise, I kind of unfortunately faced bullying in my school at the time, and it didn't help that I liked Pokemon still. I didn't get back into the series until I got my copy of Diamond about a year after it came out, and I kind of haven't looked back since then. So this will be an interesting experience for me. Draw item. Yep, potion. You'll notice I'm also using the Virtual Console. Right now, my computer does not have the power to. Oop, I don't think that saved it. My computer does not have the power to emulate and record the emulation at the same time. I'm working to get a better computer, but, that costs money. And money is such a fleeting thing right now. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. Another rule that I'm going to use is, it's also one I just normally use when playing the games, is to have my lowest level Pokemon in my first slot. This is what I did when I was a kid, just because you know, the idea of training it up to become as good as the other ones. It's going to make for a bit of grindy sessions, but I'll be sure to cut those out. So part of this is I'm not really doing this as an exploratory thing. Honestly, if you're watching this, you should be familiar enough with Pokemon to know, you know, how all this goes. Honestly, if I were playing by myself, I'd be inclined to just go explore and see the differences between the games. But I'm gonna expedite that just for the sake of brevity. I really do like Charmander, so I'll go with that, even though this is Leaf Green. But I mean, I went with Charmander the first time I played in Pokemon Blue. Yes. Chuck. I don't know why Chuck. It's just the first one that came to mind. So, you received the Squirtle. Alright. So, yeah, just like the original ones, he challenged you right as you're trying to leave, which I think was the most well-handled of all the initial rival battles in all the series. Tutorials. I understand that they have a purpose, and I get it that you want to, you know, the game's still for kids. Give us an opportunity to turn this stuff off. Like, don't make it apparent. Make it so if you know what to do, you can do it. But I don't know this. I've hated forced video game tutorials since the Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy Color. When they force you to play an entire duel with the set moves they give you, and it's tedious and it makes starting the game a chore. And when you're, you know, 9-year-old me, and you like restarting games at the drop of the hat, which, to be honest, I still like restarting games. I think most games most games that I've played, I have kind of the most fun within the first, like, 75%. Some games really don't have the best end game to them. Yep, you picked the wrong Pokemon. So, my history with the game obviously goes back to about 1998, 1999, when it first hit the US. I was, what, 5 or 6 at the time. I started with watching the show because a friend of mine told me about it. And, so another thing, I'm not including these Pokemon I encounter on the way up to Viridian City because there is no possibility for capturing them. I don't have Pokeballs yet. So, until then, these are just free XP. As I was saying, I started in 1998 watching the TV show when a friend of mine told me about it, and I thought, just from hearing it, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And so I got so obsessed with the show that I would actually have my parents videotape it because it was on in the mornings as I was about to leave for school. You know, the bus was showing up. So I had them videotape it on cassette, and then I'd watch it when I got home from school that day. But as time went on, I stopped watching the show. I don't anymore. And so when I learned about the video games, I thought, oh man, I gotta get this. Well, I didn't have anything to play video games with when I was that age. So, you know, I told my parents for my birthday, you know, all I wanted was an Atomic Purple Game Boy and Pokemon Blue version. And lo and behold, that's what I got. On top of that, that birthday was awesome. It was a Pokemon-themed birthday, but it was a Pokemon-themed birthday during a time when Pokemon birthday decorations were very difficult to come by. So my mom, what she did was she made a whole bunch of paper cutout Pikachus and Charmanders and strung them from the ceiling. And it was really cool. I had all my friends over, and it was a blast. So yeah, that was neat. And then I later got red version, but when yellow version came out with the special edition Pikachu Game Boy, my sister got that. Unfortunately, she still blames me for it being lost and or broken. I don't remember which. Like 15, 16 years later. Anyway, I continue playing the games into Gold and Silver and Crystal. I totally almost called them Heart Gold and Soul Silver because right now, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are my favorite Pokemon games. Closely followed by Black and White, then X and Y, then Diamond, which is the only one from Gen 4 I've played. Followed by Sapphire, the original Gold and Silver, and then Red and Blue are my least favorite, but that's still not a bad thing. I still consider them, pretty good games. I play them to this day. I kind of find it interesting when you have this a series of games where you like all of them, but you have to talk about them as liking one better than the other, like the Super Smash Bros. Series. Like, I don't consider Brawl a bad game at all. I consider it the least good game. It's a very tight. It's a very tight game. As of this recording, though, I haven't played Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, but I have played it for the 3DS, and I thought that was a pretty solid game. Should heal up real quick first. So, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of talking about games I like anymore, just because people who take it too far have kind of ruined that. I think it used to be not as well regarded. I guess it's still not well regarded to be able to show your fandom on your sleeve like that, to be so obsessed with something that you don't accept any other alternatives, that someone could not like it or like something else. At least in terms of popular media. Please don't knock that. Awesome. So we're about to catch our first Pokemon. Oop, that was not. I'm so used to the layout of X and Y, and I haven't even bought an Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire yet. Like I said, money's tight. I just got a promotion at work, but I haven't gotten my first paycheck from that promotion yet. Well, I'm still working at that level, which means I don't make tips anymore. So these past 2 weeks have kind of been really hard. Nickname for Rattata. Rickard. I don't know. I'm just putting in whatever name comes to me at the time. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go talk to Mom real quick. She's right there. I'm not putting out Rickard right away. Like, he has no help, and I don't want to waste the potion. I'm already breaking my own rules. This is going so poorly. But I think the reason why I chose Rickard there was because I've been just devouring the Game of Thrones books. I read the first 2.5 when I was in high school. Because I would rather read than actually have to pay attention in high school. But I never really got into them until well after the TV show, and I saw the first half of season 1 on Netflix, which I thought was great. I haven't watched any more of it just because I can't stand watching TV right now. I kind of always have to be doing something at this point in my life, whether it be writing or reading or mostly writing and reading right now. Occasionally I'll put like a Two Best Friends play video up, or something that Slow Beef has uploaded, but beyond that, I really don't sit down and watch stuff anymore. I think I kind of wore myself out about the time that Game Grumps was first starting out. I was watching everything they uploaded it pretty much as they uploaded, just full force. At the same time, I was just playing Skyrim. From the time that game came out until about a year later, I did nothing but play Skyrim and watch Game Grumps, and that ruined pretty much Skyrim and Game Grumps for me. Like, I can't even stand to boot up Skyrim anymore, just because I've had so much of it. And that was, I'm not proud of that time of my life at all, because that should have been time I should have been I should have spent that time looking for a job. But I would rather just lay around and play Skyrim and watch Game Grumps. But that time has passed, and I'm a better man now, and I have a job that I got. Yeah, whatever. You guys need to hear about my job. It's boring. So, the first time I played through Pokemon Blue, you know, I was very young, 6 or 7. It's been so long that, like, a lot of stuff that seems dumb for it to occur to me occurred to me. Like, I would try and get past this guy who, if you don't know, which I don't know why you don't, he's passed out on the road. In the original Japanese, he's drunk. In the English version, he hasn't had his morning coffee. So, alright, let's shoot for our second Pokemon. A Mankey. Ooh! That's actually very beneficial, because the first gym leader is Brock, who is a rock and ground type leader. And Charmander, I do know that Charmander does learn Metal Claw rather early in this game. Oh shit! Well, there that goes. Alright, so we had our first accidental critical hit. And in a Nuzlocke run, critical hits come out like crazy. If you look into the various comics and stories and Let's Plays, you'll find that every once in a while you'll get an opportune Pokemon to pop up, and it'll just whatever guy you send out will just critical hit it, and you'll lose it, and you'll feel bad because that's one less member on your team, and you know there's a disadvantage to losing Pokemon like that, even wild Pokemon that you haven't caught yet. So, oh well. I'm just gonna, Yes, I'm working on my Pokedex. Again, I hate forced tutorials, especially when I've already gone through it. Like, I've already caught a Pokemon. The worst one was... Oh dear, which one was the worst one? Was it in Ruby and Sapphire, where you can get, like, a full team well before... of different Pokemon well before they even show you how to catch them? So they're like, yeah, just throw a Pokeball. But wait, you gotta weaken it first. And... But, yeah, there's... Oh, the Teachy TV. I forgot about that. Basically, the biggest thing about that is I didn't know what to do with the shoulder buttons, because Pokemon really only needs the A, B, and the D-pad, as well as start and select, which is what, you know, the original Game Boy had. One thing I find kind of funny now is that they, on the 3DS version at least, it's all on the face buttons. So X replaces start and Y replaces select, and you don't use really the shoulder buttons or start or select at all. If I remember correctly, in the original games, this tree right there could actually had a hidden potion in it. One thing I didn't realize happened was it didn't, like, come back as a kid. So, like, I would keep trekking it trying to get another potion. So that was dumb. Alright, a Pidgey. So one thing about Pokemon that I tend to do... Alright, let's switch him out, because if it fails one thing in Pokemon that I tend to do is I tend to be very offensive with the game, at least. I'm not a huge, I don't really battle other people too often just because there's not a whole lot of people around me who play the game. And even for online stuff, I don't want to put in the effort to do, you know, perfect IVs. I'll do perfect EVs now that they're super trading in Pokemon X and Y, but even then they're not perfect. Yes. Pat. Why Pat? Well, my dad's named Pat, my middle name is Pat, and I'm a fan of Pat from Two Best Friends Play, so I'll just go back to the Pokemon Center. Yeah, there's a lot of going back to the Pokemon Center. I might edit this out, I might not. If you're hearing this now, then I chose to be lazy, so, you know, there's that. Oh, man. I do hope to lose as few Pokemon as possible, but I'm only human and I've limited how much I can grind, so... oh dear. I'm sorry about that. It doesn't show up in the video, but stuff was going on with my computer. This is one thing that I'm kind of amazed at, because like people who don't do Let's Plays really don't understand that there's a bit of difficulty in doing both entertaining gameplay and entertaining commentary, which is why a lot of people either have someone with them, or they do post commentary, or they do post commentary with someone with them. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Whatever. No one's watching this. Hint, hint, wink, wink, my ass. Ah, Viridian Forest. So I have a tale about Viridian Forest that shows just how stupid a kid I am. In the original Red and Blue, the trees in this in the forest kind of have a split trunk, is how I would describe it. When I was a kid, I thought you could walk through the trunk, so I spent like a good 30-40 minutes walking into a tree trying to get through it. Alright, so Caterpie is our Pokemon for the area. Not bad. Ah, String Shot. Yeah, the first time I ever beat Brock, because I started with Charmander, because, you know, Charmander's cool. I actually beat him with a Butterfree, because... Oh, you son of a bitch. See what I mean? Critical hit. The game knows. It knows that this is a Nuzlocke. I should have bought more Pokeballs. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I beat Brock with a Butterfree because I started with Charmander because it's cool. You know, it's a fire type. It has it's a lizard. Yes, Caterpie. Daryl. Is Rickard still the lowest level? Yeah. One thing I did when I had multiple Pokemon on the same level, that were the lowest levels, I would just sort them by max HP. So. I don't have an antidote. I'm gonna have to go back anyway, because I'm not gonna try and get through this without an antidote. Antidote, because I believe this is the part of the game where antidote means death. It'll go until they're completely fainted, which still counts for death in a Nuzlocke. And if they don't, I'm counting it as a death. So if they get all drained of health, then they're dead. They're gone. They're out of here. Oh, that's nice. So the one thing about my grinding limit that kind of evens things out a bit is if I just switch out to one Pokemon all the time, I'm gonna have a bunch of low-level Pokemon and one kind of high-level Pokemon, but not so high-level that becomes a game breaker. and probably can't even carry the team by himself. Which could be bad, because especially in the first versions of these games, you could just use one Pokemon through the whole thing with no problem. Like, that's what I'm doing right now in my copy of Blue. I'm also using the Mew glitch to get a full Pokedex, because I've always wanted a full Pokedex. I've never gotten a full Pokedex in any of the games. I'm absolutely atrocious at that. I really like Pokemon. Like, there's not a single Pokemon I actively dislike. If you were to ask me what the worst Pokemon is, that's tough to say. Maybe Volby, just because I don't like how the wings look. But like with Trubbish, I love Trubbish. I love Slurpuff. I love the ice cream guy that I can't remember his name right now. Those cards are nice. Like, I like how they add these nice little bits of flair to the to the remakes. That they do stuff with the remakes that they don't do with the what I call the core games. Mainly because you can't, the game's already made. And you can't just re-release the same game over and over. Like, I know that's what they say Nintendo does, but they do try and change up what's going on in the games, at least a little bit, from game to game. A lot. Oh, shit, I remember by antidotes or Pokeballs. All right, after this fight, I'm gonna cut and. After this fight, I'm gonna cut and then go get them and then come back. I'm trying to come up with stuff, with ideas on like random battles. Like, should I cut out most of the? Should I cut out the rest of the battle with only showing you the start and end, or what? Unless my commentary at the time is rather. Awkward for me to cut at that point, which it probably will be all the time, and I'm gonna look like a goober. Alright. Well, I know I am gonna put a cut right here, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I bought 10 more Pokeballs and 10 antidotes, so that should keep me well protected from any poisonous adversaries. I'll walk through the grass, because I can't grind, but I can travel. I'm making that distinction now, and you'll be like, oh, that's bullshit. Well, I can just cut stuff anyway, so it's like, whatever. What do you care? This is a guy in his early 20s playing Pokemon for an audience that he sure doesn't even exist. Like, I know that I have subscribers and whatnot, and part of it is self-depreciating humor, but I'm not well known. I'm not, I'm not the super best friends or Slow Beef or God forbid Dark Side Phil. But I'm just some guy. God, I didn't even see the Super Best Friends Nuzlocke run of Fire Red. I'm having so much trouble with these controls. Oh god. Hearted. I mean, that's an alright move, but I'm using a special type attack. So yeah, I guess I need to explain why I chose this version to do this for. Well, first of all, I've never played Fire Red and Leaf Green. The closest I came to playing was looking at a friend checking out a demo at a Toys R Us when they first came out. We were there because they were hosting a Yu-Gi-Oh! League. They had like a booklet and they stamped you every time you did something cool. It was like awesome. I'd be what, 10? I was young. Poison Sting. Yep, and that's why I bought the antidotes. Alright, yeah, I can tank a hit or two. Yeah. Level 5. So, I chose this game partially because I've never played it before, even though it is a remake of the Gen 1 games, so I know a bit about it. But also because I've only ever played Sapphire from Gen 3, and that's it. So, I've been trying to get more exposure to Gen 3 and the early Gen 4, because I've also only played, I played Diamond Pearl and Heart Gold and Soul Silver to death, but, I've yet to play Platinum, and I don't know, I kind of got like in a fervor with the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire coming out, because I'm like, oh, Gen 3 remakes, it's pretty neat. I might try that Gen 3 myself again, now that I have the money for it. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's neat. So that's why I did this game, and it didn't even lose me an antidote. So yeah, I'm doing. Also, I have capability of playing this one. So as you can tell, I'm using the GameCube Game Boy player. I love the GameCube. Like, hands down. Oh shoot, I didn't switch out my Pokemon. Oh well, I'll do that after the fight. Like, hands down, probably my favorite console of all time. Closely followed by the Wii U, because I love the Wii U. I think it has a really good library, even if it's not expansive. And I do like the gamepad, even though I don't use it too often. I mostly use it for, like, Mario Kart or Zombie U, of course. And then the Xbox 360, because I'm I'm an unwashed console peasant. Hey, you're a new guy. Or maybe just a moved guy. The layout's pretty similar. Granted, that's kind of what they've been doing with these games. It's just kind of... Alright. It's really hard talking while playing video games. Like especially when you have it in your head that, oh my god, I can't have dead air. Like, I cannot just stop speaking for a moment because people would get bored. And maybe you've been bored for the, 30 minutes I've been playing or speaking or what have you. I mean, maybe, And RPGs really aren't the best thing. But I needed a game where I knew I was good at it and I knew I could do it well. And Pokemon's really, like, you'll hear a lot of people go on and on about the games they're nostalgic about, like Final Fantasy and a lot of the Super Nintendo era, and, like, Pokemon's it for me. I didn't have a whole lot of games. Like, we got a PS1, and then we had, like, a Madden for it, and then Spyro the Dragon, and that thing broke, like, 4 months after we got it. And I didn't care at the time because I wanted an N64. And I wanted an N64 for years. And I never got one. I actually didn't get one until like a year after moving out with my parents. When I'm going through my uncle's stuff trying to find something, and I find that he has one. I'm like, hey, can I take this? He's like, sure. So I have that, and then I have a few games for it. I actually bought Pokemon Stadium 2 for it about 6 months ago. I like the N64 GameCube era. Like, that's my childhood. And it wasn't the most popular, especially with the PS2, which I've never owned a PS2. There's a lot. I'm sure that if I really wanted to, I could get a PS2, and that would open up that entire world of games to me. Like, that whole era was when there was still magic in video games, but I was old enough to where I could, like, get through them. Like, I knew what I was doing. Like, now there's no mystery anymore. It's all the same stuff, and oh wow, it's all the same stuff, and I'm kind of not happy with where who's my weakest now? Daryl. I can't. I'm playing this on a on an LCD screen because I don't have a CRT TV anymore. I couldn't take it with me when I moved to Florida. So it was big. It was like 100 pounds. It took 2 of us to get it out. I don't know why we put it in the basement. That was fucking stupid. Alright, this is not going how I want, as quick as I wanted. So, yeah, that area, so I didn't have an N64, but I had cousins who did, and I had friends who did, so I just got enough of a taste that it still I still could maintain the magic. It just wasn't something that was, oh, I don't have it, so I don't even care. Like living on a paved road. I didn't live on a paved road at the time, and I didn't care. Alright. Let's reorganize the party real quick. Now that's one of the things that the first few Pokemon games didn't have, is they were very bare bones. Like there really isn't a whole lot to them. And the first one's actually kind of badly programmed and designed, especially with how ghost Pokemon are actually weak to Psychic Pokemon because they messed up that section of programming. And there's no Ghost Attack and no Dragon Attack that do any semblance of actual damage. They ignore the damage formula and do a set amount. I think Nightshade, which was the only Ghost type attack, only does like 30, and then Dragon Rage does 40. Did I say Dragon Range? Dragon Rage. Oh, poison again, which is fine. I think that's the last trainer, so I could actually start grinding Chuck to level 20 and everyone else to level 10. But I'm going to make it to Pewter City just to be sure. Yeah. Oh, I never got the town map. Oh well, I don't need it. I've never needed it. Even as a kid, like my brain did not connect the two, so I thought it was a useless thing. I was dumb as a kid. I'm not always the smartest person now, anyway. So that's Route 2, and that's Route 1. Okay, so that's still Route 2. So yeah, I can't catch anything there. Alright then, I'm gonna go grind a little bit and then try and go take on Brock.